Hey, what's up, YouTube? Metallic Aerox here today, and we gotta go back. Back to the past with Samurai Jack, and talk about Samurai Jack Battle to the Past. Now, for those who don't know what Samurai Jack is, it was an action-adventure show that was on Cartoon Network back in August 2001 to about September 2004, and according to this Wikipedia I found. And honestly, it's a shame that the series didn't end truly until 2017. From what I remembered watching the first few parts, it was really good. The action was there, and of course, there was interesting elements of the creator parts to be able to show that demonstrated innovation and influence that'd be a wider acclaimed later on. And in 2020, we actually got a new video game. So, Samurai Jack Back to the Past, let's review it and see how it holds up. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that like button to show your support and subscribe to the channel for more awesome content. And hopefully with this video, you'll be able to help Meta decide if you're going to pick up the game or not. So, we have a few sections to cover this review. We're going to be talking about the plot, the gameplay, sound design, bugs and issues, and replay value. I have played this game story all the way through over at twitch.tv/Metallic Aerox, so I had a lot of fun with it, and the pain was there for this game during my live streams. If you want to be a part of the fun, consider checking my Twitch channel. No more plugs in now for the time being, so let's just jump in. The plot. So, it's interesting to me how the game starts. Jack is about to face down Aku, similar to how they did at the end of Season 5. However, a time portal gets ripped open up, and sends Jack back to the past, further into the past, in order to go throughout various locations during the show, as well as face numerous friends and foes alike, which are shown during the run of the entire CD series. For someone who hasn't really fully watched Season 1-4, I love this idea because it provided me insight on what Jack has gone through in his adventures before Season 5 of the game itself. And for veterans of the show, it could be a great reminder as well as a huge dose of nostalgia. All of the enemies and allies you know to love and come have shown about here are well represented for. However, if you haven't watched the show, the game takes very little to no time to kind of showcase any origins or information on the villains at all, so be warned on that as well. There were several times when I was facing a boss only for myself to be like, I don't know who you are or what you want. However, I'm the protagonist of a video game created by Adult Swim to milk a cash cow, and I will fight you. So the gameplay. So how would I compare this game to others? Well, first off, Devil May Cry and the Ninja Gaiden games are the first to come to my mind. The levels for Samurai Jack are nearly all the same. You progress through the level and fight waves of enemies before progressing to the next slot. You collect drops, you collect currency, you collect other things, and then proceed. Rinse and repeat until you got a boss fight, and then you clear the level, and then end the chapter, and get your ranking. I will admit there are a few sections where it does require some 2D/3D platforming, but it's nothing groundbreaking that you really wouldn't expect in most action games alone. One of the most promising features of this game, though, is the amount of variety it does provide. Now, you can be like an OG, like me, and play the game all the way through using the special katana that Jack does have. But the beauty of this game is that you don't have to just do that. Jack, being a warrior of many talents, is well adept in using staffs, maces, his fists, guns, shurikens, knives, and bows. All of this can be provided a personal playthrough using the weapons of your choice. Plus, you can even go through an added challenge and restrict yourself to only one type of weapon. My vote goes to the fist. Catch these hands, Aku! Another feature regarding Jack's involvement would be the skill tree system. Jack, being the pinnacle of warriorship, has several different trees that you can work on for a variety of abilities, being spiritual skills, combat skills, and physical skills. These are crucial to work on in order to increase Jack's combos for said weapon that you're working on, increase health, defense, and learn some additional moves such as counter. The beauty of it is that you can choose where the tree goes on the graph. So if there's a weapon or skill you don't really care about, you don't have to waste on the points on leveling up. Instead, you can go on a route that you want to, and ultimately get Jack closer towards the end of the goal. Since it goes down in a way that doesn't need to be taken by just one path. More or less, the game itself handles itself pretty well in controlling with moving with Jack. The camera is an important point that works for this game very well. However, the game's combat is stiff very much compared to games such as Devil May Cry 5. Again, I know that Adult Swim hasn't had nearly as much experience creating these games as Capcom, which is something I do try to keep in mind as I do review this game. It's playable for the most part, but there is something I do want to address in terms of the gameplay as well, aside from the stiffness in combat. This game literally makes no sense at all in terms of difficulty spikes you will encounter throughout your journey. A case in example, I want to bring up the final level. Okay, now normally you would expect the last level to be the most challenging thrown your way, correct? Well, Jack doesn't give Jack about that. So, The level before the final level, first of all, drags so long. And the second most important, it's insanely demanding and very difficult to overcome. It's because of all the worms. So many worms. So the trouble with the level is a constant stream of this worms that can do major damage and will generate more worms unless you kill, I suppose, what you would call the queen. However, the queen is very hard to kill because of how much damage that she can take before she actually stops. So it just keeps on going and going. And if you don't do it fast enough, you're going to get overrun with bugs, which will cause Jack to get cornered, taking a lot of damage because, again, this game does not really have iframes, and they just relentlessly attack you. Are you serious? More bugs? Why? This game sucks. There's even a bunch of the other guys. Okay. It's never gonna end, guys. It's never gonna end. I don't care if it's close to breaking. I just gotta use it. Jeez. Yes, that's the one I want to hit. One more hit. Now, personally, I would love to have the options of having iframes to at least get my balance back and get to a better state before I start taking more damage, as opposed to just being cornered and taking more damage than I'm dishing out. And honestly, to be real with you, the final level is actually somewhat pretty easy compared to most other levels. There was another level where you had to face two bosses at the same time in a 2D restricted environment. That easily posed more of a challenge than the final boss. I may be nitpicking here, but still, with the end of the game, I wanted something more difficult, but to be honest, a more satisfying boss fight as well. With the sound direction and the visual direction, I gotta say I was content. The voice actors, with the exception of Aku, all reprise their roles, and it seems like they've been doing these voices still for years. Even after all these years, they still sound fantastic. The music was there, but sadly nothing really stood out in terms of breathtaking. For any potential glitches or bugs that have broken the game, except for the worms I talked about earlier that really broke the game and broke my mental state, I don't really remember encountering any game-breaking or game-defining glitches or bugs, which is fantastic. So I'm glad to see that Adult Swim is working more on the quality of things, because again, they have a history of having some pretty bad video games. So with the replay value when it comes with this game, I suppose there are a few things that you could be able to do. Like traditional fashion, you can always rebeat the missions and be able to get a better score on your overall ranking. However, the game does introduce a few new modes that do become available to you after you complete the game, kind of like a bloody pal / boss / fighting gauntlet. So that could be something really fun if you really do enjoy the combat. However, for me, I'm probably not going to come back to it. So, with that brief review being over, would I recommend this game? To the unfan of Samurai Jack, probably not. If you're a huge fan of Ninja Gaiden and Devil May Cry, I'd rather suggest you playing games like those because there's just so much more polish to it. Again, I did have some fun with this game, but ultimately I did have a lot of pain points with it too, but it was still a pretty good time. So if you can get this game maybe on sale, yeah, I would totally justify picking up right then and there. However, $40, it's still kind of a big price for this game, especially with how quick you can get through it as well. So, but yeah, thank you all so much for listening to my thoughts about Samurai Jack Battle Through Time. Again, I still had fun with it, just some pain points. If you are new to the channel, feel free to hit that subscribe button. It definitely helps the channel grow, and I would greatly appreciate that. You can go over and follow me at twitch.tv/MetallicAirbox for more gaming content, be a part of it, because again, we do have a blast when it comes to Twitch.